What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. That guy right there is Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm back. Thank you, Sherry, for holding down the fort while I was away again. I will be addressing some things that were spoken about last week. I forgot. That was the other thing. That was one of the other things I wanted to talk about. So we will be addressing last week, okay? But in the meantime,
I feel like you're getting in trouble.
I know, I'm scared.
tonight's brew is from Redlight. Again, you guys did the Blanche. And so for this week, I thought it would be fitting to continue the series and do Sofia. So Obi will have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? I will obviously give you guys my feelings on Bonnaroo 2023.
The people want to know.
As they do. Usually one of our highest performing episodes.
Yeah.
So
talking about Bonnaroo.
every week we'll just say Bonnaroo like Black Superman.
Black Superman.
What else is on tap, sir?
We also will be discussing a little smidgen of trailer trash. For Kraven the Hunter, another spin-off sort of villain. They're twisting all these Spider-Man villains into heroes.
He's not going to have anybody to fight.
I know.
It's all just going to be MCU stuff.
Yeah.
And then somebody's going to be like, well, and it's like, well, it's your fault. It's your fault. You made them all heroes.
That's all we got. I don't know.
And then Obi's going to have his first impressions of the Final Fantasy 16 demo that just came out.
Yep.
And I think we'll see where this fucking brewski takes us.
Let's do it.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, without further ado, this is episode 395. We are getting so close. So close.
Dangerously close.
Of the One Beer In podcast. Oh, yeah.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
Got that little funky silt at the bottom of it.
Oh, yeah, girl.
Wow.
This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew and we see where that one brew takes us. As I said, I am Marco Dupa, and that is the great and powerful Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, buddy.
Welcome back, friends, to the show. Hopefully you have continued on listening and listening and listening. Every week, we just get better and better.
We try.
We just try to improve. We try to do our best. Okay. Let's do it. You got some information about the Sofia?
Sure don't. There is no cold read for the Sofia, but it does say it is a mixed cultured sour ale with Sangiovese grapes. 6.5% ABV, brewed and bottled by hand. Those hands.
Not these hands. I haven't bottled in a long time.
Oh, well. Could have been bottled by those hands. Not brewed by those hands.
No.
At Redlight Brew Pub, Orlando, Florida.
I could have lied, but I want to be honest with the people. I didn't want to lie and
Should.
and,
Should be honest.
Yeah. So, we bottled years ago. Like a year ago was the last time I bottled, and I think. Well, they've gotten way more efficient with the process, so I don't think I'm even needed. No one ever asks, so I'm not putting this out there for anybody to ask me. But
Okay.
No one ever asks. So
I feel like some random breweries are going to call you and say, "Hey, we got some bottles for you to bottle if you'd like." Cheers.
okay.
Yummy.
All right. So I'm back.
How was Bonnaroo?
Sucked. No,
The worst time.
It was
ever.
great. I mean, it's Bonnaroo. You know what are you gonna what are you gonna do? I won't take up too much time going over every excruciating detail of it.
Yeah, don't hurt me like that.
Yeah. Well, you needed to go to Japan, so I mean, yeah, exactly.
Staring daggers at Sherry right now.
It's not on us. You made your choices. All right, you made your choices.
True.
So, the experience itself, always a wonderful time. Got to go with Naladi, Brad, Rob. Robert's been on the show.
Yes.
Naladi's been on the show.
Yeah.
Friend Whisper and her boyfriend Ray. So that was the group. So it was a nice, solid group. We missed some people who weren't able to make it. It reduced the numbers of because the last time, the year prior, we had like 9 people. So yeah, was it 9 people? Yeah, it was a lot of people.
It's a whole encampment.
Yeah, it was an ordeal.
Yeah,
it was an ordeal, which made it, it was good. It was a lot of people to keep track of, but it was a big group. It was a big fun group. But when you reduce the numbers, it just makes everything a little bit easier to kind of manage.
Sure.
So there's pros and cons to it. You miss the people who you usually go with, but at the same time, it's like, this is way easier. Like when our campsite was just tent, living space, tent, and it was super easy.
Yeah.
I know that we did an episode where we went through Bonnaroo versus Coachella. The lists.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what I said about each one. But I can tell you, having gone and actually being there and trying to make sense of everybody who was there, wasn't the greatest set list for me personally.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Obviously, that's why you're here. Number one, the biggest thing that you'll notice if you're somebody who's a fan of Bonnaroo, of what Bonnaroo used to be, is that it's definitely stepping into its modern era. So there seems to be a very concerted push for a more youthful crowd environment, however you want to say it. I don't know. So, number one,
more Gen Z vibes.
Yes, definitely more Gen Z vibes. The biggest thing is I guess I just started off with the dance music stuff.
Okay.
The EDM stuff.
The old crotchety man.
All right, listen, I understand that what's about to happen
is too loud. I don't like the bass.
This is not going to come off good for me. All right? I understand that.
You like what you like. You like what you like.
Yeah.
There's no judgment there.
Yeah. And so I just have to say, from a personal standpoint, but it's not just like from my personal standpoint on it. It's also like what Bonnaroo is, or what it used to be. It was never. We went back and looked at some of like the early set lists and stuff.
Yeah. And
they've always had DJs, like they had Z-Trip, and I think DJ Shadow was there at some point. Fucking. Who else? But it doesn't matter. They're at a point now where it's just straight up like the other stage. So if you've never been to Bonnaroo, the stages are they're named. They have multiple stages, and they're this, that, what, which, the other, and then there's Where in the Woods. Then there's the House of Yes, and I know I'm forgetting. I think I'm forgetting one. Because I think we counted them. There's like 8 or 9 stages. 8 or 9 places for somebody to perform. I think I'm forgetting one. But anyway, you get the conceit of the naming of the stages. The other has now become the de facto dance or electronic music stage.
Sure.
It didn't used to be that way. It was just another stage where they would have like experimental stuff or something like that. But now it's just it's literally just.
Well, it being the other, you would assume it was like weirder.
So that's what I thought. That's what I just assumed, right? That's what you would assume.
Sure.
But when you go back and look at some of the older Bonnaroos, it's like it's just another stage. It's gotten to a point now where First of all, it has taken over the other completely. So that's just the EDM stage now.
Sure.
But then one of the headliners was Odessa.
Yeah.
Sunday or Saturday night headliner, right? And I know I haven't been able to have a chance to do like the big recap with everybody that I went with. So if they're listening to this, is probably the first time that they're hearing this. Fucking, I just didn't get it. I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Fucking Saturday night. Saturday night at Bonnaroo is like the big night.
Yeah.
Okay, you got the super jam earlier in the day. You ride into some of like the bigger name guests, and then fucking Odessa. If you're a fan of Odessa, all right, I already know that you're a fan of all these people. That this is not. You just fast forward, okay? Just jump to the next timestamp because this is not going to be good for you guys. I don't get it. I don't get it.
What about it don't you get? Is it just the vibe? Is it just the music itself?
It's the popularity of it. I mean, there were so many people there.
Yeah.
And then everyone's telling me like, "Oh, we got to see Odessa. We got to see Odessa. We're going to meet up. Everybody's going to go to Odessa." And when we get there, and it's just like the same as all the other fucking EDM that I heard that day or over the course of the weekend. It's done. What I don't get is why they stand shoulders above other EDM artists. It sounds, and this is ignorance, obviously. This is coming from a place of ignorance. So, but it just sounds exactly the same. Maybe a little bit better. I mean, I guess one of them was playing like a saxophone or a trumpet at some point, and then they had like two girls come out there and sing. So like, yeah, they do something different, but it's like, it's the same fucking shit.
Yeah.
The same fucking shit.
Without an appreciation for it, I think it's just kind of lost on you. You know,
it is, and I think Rob and I talked about it a little bit. Like, you get to a certain point where it's like, I consume so much music, and EDM has been a blind spot for me for the majority of my life.
Right.
And I'm at a point now. I'm going to be 33 in a month.
Basically dead.
Yeah. So I don't have a lot of time left on this planet, and I'm not going to spend it trying to understand EDM.
Yeah. Well, I think that I think you misjudge yourself a little bit, if I'm so brave to say, because you do like some EDM, like you do like house music, you do like, Daft Punk. That's EDM.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Sure. I guess I should be more specific and say dubstep specifically.
Sure. Dubstep. I'm sure you're not a big fan of trance and, more hard beat stuff like that.
Sure. I don't even know what the difference would be.
Trance is the sort of the typical, like, what you would assume is the prototypical, like, 90s
right,
for like an hour,
boots and pants,
and you're doing this the entire time.
I mean, I can rock with it for like a song or two.
Sure.
After a while, it's like what it has to be, man. There has to be some soul to it. And I don't just mean it has to be black music. I mean there has to be some soul to it. There's soul in punk music. There's there's energy. There's attitude. There's a reason. There's a meaning. There's soul to it. There's life. There's a lifeness to it. There's a lot of electronic music is just lifeless. Like I was listening to Subtronics.
Okay.
And they were like the last act before I forgot who it was. You know who it was? It's fucking Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, yeah.
DJ Diesel. He was the big name of the night.
Steel himself.
Yeah. Steel himself. Before him was Subtronics. Subtronics is apparently a big name in dance music. So I'm trying to get, and it's just like, I'm with some people. Shout out to the people that I was with, Kat and her friends. It was a good time. If you're listening to this, I had a good time. The fucking music. You just like there would be points where like it just drops, just I can't even describe it. It sounds so silly to me. Like there's points where like the drop is just like it sounds like what somebody would do to make fun of it. That's what it legitimately sounds like. Like if you saw a parody of it and you go, they're making fun of dubstep. It's like, no, modern dubstep sounds like a joke. It sounds like a bit. Yeah. Do you listen to dubstep anymore?
No. No, I mean I run into it every once in a while, and
like it's in the streets.
an old friend. Yeah, we don't talk anymore, but occasionally I'll run into some dubstep, and not be like disgusted by it. In fact, sometimes I will go back and listen to some old Skrillex and such, just to feel something again. But
Feel what?
anger, rage. No, I mean, I know this is such a cop out to say, but really a lot of specifically dubstep is a vibe,
Yeah.
like it's just, and a lot of like the trancier music and things like that I think most people on the outside looking in would call soulless and just droning and like without merit. I think you have to. It's really a time and place thing too. I know I'm giving a lot of conditions to enjoying this music, but
Yeah, man, whatever caveats you need to put for...
I think it's important. I think it's important to say that there's a lot of people that are huge fans of this music, outside of the people who are just like, oh, this is a cool excuse to do drugs. But there's, I think a lot of fans of this kind of music that find soul in it, in the community itself, in the dancing part of it, in the, the sort of like tribal community that you find in a lot of the EDM music that can be kind of indecipherable for a lot of people who are on the outside looking in. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've found myself in like EDC in days long past, listening and enjoying music that I normally wouldn't because of the environment.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's something that you it's hard to replicate on your own if you're just listening to it in your car,
I would never.
Yeah.
I'd rather drive into a ditch.
Sure.
Like a shallow ditch, but like not shallow enough that I could survive, Shallow enough that people would be like, how did he die?
Yeah.
And it's because I tried hard to kill myself.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like, he could have just opened the door. And then they look at the radio and they're like, oh, I get it.
It looks like he put his head underwater. There's only like a foot of water in his car.
He could have made it. Subtronics.
Ah.
Right. Got it. Okay.
They hit the eject button. There's a CD in there. We got another one.
Oh. He was, oh, no. Oh. That probably be, that's not even really like the lowest low light.
Okay.
I think the lowest low
Let's go
light.
lower.
I can go lower.
Mm-hmm.
Bonnaroo as a thing is becoming harder. It's becoming harder and harder to ignore the commercialization of Bonnaroo as a music festival.
How so?
So
Besides it being expensive.
That's a big part of it. They got bought by Live Nation a couple years ago, right?
Right.
And everybody was,
super happy about that.
Yeah. And I think that recently a lot of that stuff is kind of coming to fruition. A lot of the concerns that people had about it. I mean, I'm saying all the negatives now, okay? I'm getting the negatives out of the way. I'm not so just bear with me, okay? Because there are a lot of highlights. When you walk through Bonnaroo now, you go to Centeroo, which is where like all the jazz is happening. It feels like you're just walking through commercials. Everything is a sponsored thing.
Sure.
There's, remember they had the comedy tent.
Yeah.
Comedy tent's gone. Comedy tent's been gone for a couple years, but like all of these little things.
Because comedy's dead. You can't joke anymore.
You can't make
guys.
jokes about anything nowadays, man. All the little shit that seemed to be organically just a part of the thing.
Yeah.
Now just kind of feels like it's very intentionally there.
Brought to you by Heineken.
There's a right in the middle of Centeroo is this giant escape room called the Hulu House. And it's a big green H. And then you go in there and it's like an escape room. I didn't know it was an escape room until Nalati told me when we got home. Because I was shitting on the house and she was like, well, it was kind of cool. It was an escape room. And I'm like, why the fuck would I want to go in there? Why would I want to do that?
Right.
Corona sponsored the drinks. So it was a big sponsor of the event. And guess what? That's the only fucking beer you could get.
Ugh.
Adam. That's it.
That's rough.
For 5 days.
That's really
the
rough.
only beer, if you didn't bring it,
I'm so sorry.
was fucking Coronas. And then the Coronas, Tall Boys, $9 per can. $14 for 24 ounce, which is a better deal than getting the Tall Boy.
Yeah.
Then you got the Jack Daniels thing, because Jack Daniels is up there in Tennessee and they sponsor a lot of the shit. So they're doing like their little Jack and Coke cans.
Okay. Yeah.
Which go fuck yourself with that. You know. So the drinks out of the question.
Yeah.
Everything is just it's just so expensive.
I remember
to do
the food alone was like crazy.
It's just insane, man.
Yeah.
The markup is like astronomical.
Well, and you're there, so you have to spend the money.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do.
They got you by the balls, man.
Yeah.
It's not like you're gonna like, oh, I'm gonna pop out to the store real quick and I'll be back. Like you're there. You're in it. And so I guess my point is, when all of these things kind of start to rear their ugly head, the veil lifts a little bit, and that it kind of takes you out of it, because you're there and you're enjoying the thing. And I know that this is sounding very nitpicky, because I know that there's thousands of people who go, don't buy any beer, do a bunch of drugs before they even go into Bonnaroo, have the greatest weekend of all time, come back and they're new people. So good on you. But if you're there and you're even slightly sober or not fucked up beyond reason, then you're looking around and you're like, I mean, this year more than any other years past, I kind of had to scrounge some money together to pull this off. Yeah. And so you're walking through and you're looking at each vendor and shit, and you're like, $10 corn dog?
No. I will not.
$12 slice of pizza. $12 slice of pizza. Regular size. Not like a giant New York style or like Lazy Moon. Lazy Moon's like a $5 slice. Yeah. $12 for a slice of pizza. Dog, I bought a burger one night because I was on another planet at some point.
Okay, yeah.
And I was by myself, just kind of wandering around, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I am so hungry. And if I go back to our camp, and what am I gonna do? Like eat beef jerky and then go to bed? No, I'm hungry. I gotta buy something. So I bought a burger, plain old beef patty, bread, no cheese, no accoutrement. $12. Okay. $12. No fries. No pickles, lettuce, tomato, onion. No ketchup, mayonnaise, nothing.
So dry.
A buck of beef between two pieces of bread, $12. I wanted to jump across that and because the other thing is, they're very deceptive.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing, dog. You gotta they don't have the prices on the marquee or anything. They don't have them on a sign. You gotta get all the way up there, and then as you're talking to them, they have it like, cute little signs, or you can go up and be like, how much is this, that, or the other thing, if you're like really aggressive. But if you're just high and drunk and you're just like, I need something to eat, you get in line, you finally get up there, and then you order the food. It's by the time you're walking out of there with tip, it's like $15 for
you don't have a shirt on anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just those little things that kind of, I hate to sound nitpicky and overly negative, but I could probably spend the rest of the podcast complaining.
You usually do. Sorry you're broke.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. It's not, I think most extracurricular shit is starting to get more and more expensive.
No, that's still fair, because, I mean, even when I went with you guys way back when, I remember, like, specifically, the food was ridiculous.
It's only gotten worse.
Yeah.
All right. I've took up a lot of time talking about the negatives. I'll run through the positives. Okay. First and foremost, the vibe was still there. Everybody was having a good time. It was very positive. Love the group that I was with. We were having a nice time. The campsite was great. Weather wasn't terrible. The last day, the very last day, last night, it rained. There was a giant storm that came through at like 1 a.m. Dude,
what was that like?
Bro, it was terrible.
God.
We slept in the tent, and at one point, it's like 3 a.m, and I wake up, and like I had to get my bearings because it felt like there was It felt like we were on a pirate ship, and it was just like, we're taking water on the starboard. I just wake up and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? The Easy Up had broke. It broke.
No.
So one of the arms that was holding it up turned into a pool of water, but the arm had come through. So the Whisper was I was in the tent with them, and I wake up to her holding it up. And her boyfriend, like, trying to get clothes on to go outside in the storm to get the water out of it. I mean, it was a disaster.
Unbelievable.
Dude. It was a disaster. But other than that, weather was pretty good. I mean, obviously, it was crazy hot. But,
Sure.
You know, it was musical acts. I'll say this. Everybody who I got to see sounded incredible, man.
Yeah.
They brought it. Everybody fucking brought it. I can't tell you everybody that I saw off the top of my head, but I've run through some of the highlights. Black Midi was awesome. Paramore, they sounded amazing. Foo Fighters, it was a little bit of a letdown, honestly, because Dave Grohl, he was doing this thing where I said I wasn't going to complain. Kendrick Lamar.
What was Dave Grohl doing? I need to know.
He was. It felt like he understood that they're an older act, and there was a lot of young people there.
Yeah.
Because he was making a lot of jokes about how old they were, and he was stopping the songs a lot to like engage with the crowd and stuff. And he was talking about like how many songs they have and how long they've been around and stuff. And it's like, for people who don't know who they are, this is probably a fun conversation, and it's probably eye-opening. But if you've been listening to them as long as they've existed, you're like, yeah, man,
We know.
play the fucking hits, buddy. We don't got all night. Like, play the fucking songs. Mm-hmm. And then he would do something that really bugs me personally, which is take a hit song and then do the cute little like intimate version of it. It's like, no, man, just play the fucking song. I didn't pay to watch you on tour, you know, get creative with your songs. I paid for this festival because I want to hear the hits from all the artists.
Yeah.
Play the fucking hits.
Okay.
And he'd do like, you know, there goes my hero. And it's just like this intimate, like slow version of it. And I'm just like, play the fucking song, dude. Play the fucking song.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar was awesome.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Baby Keem was great. He came out with Kendrick. That was dope. So trying to think of who else. Tyler Childers? I still don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Yeah, that guy.
It was a whole thing this weekend. He sounded great. So the artists were fantastic. Bonnaroo as a thing is always, you know, when you give yourself over to it, it's great. It gives back. You radiate positivity, all that jazz. So overall, all things considered, I think I give my experience a B.
Okay.
Solid B.
That's not what I was expecting.
B minus.
That's
B minus.
We don't do that review on this show.
I know. Yeah, you're right. 3.5 bottle caps.
Okay. All right. I can dig it.
Yeah, I'll go 3.5. 3.5. So there you go. Step it the fuck up, Bonnaroo. Okay.
They won't. They made far too much money on everyone.
Yeah. All right, so that's that. Sorry, I took up a lot of time with that.
You were fine, my friend. We were all wondering how it was out there. I saw that you actually took some time off of social media.
I did.
Yeah, I tried to leave you alone.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You're sending me memes all the time.
Like, well, not all right. Well, not direct text.
I didn't want to be rude. I saw them and I was like, I'm gonna respond to these when I get back.
Yeah, it's fine. I didn't notice. I didn't notice that you weren't responding to me. No. That's good though. How'd that feel?
No, the social media break was really good actually.
Good.
I didn't want to be one of these people to like announce it. But I feel like I'm gonna do it more often. I feel like I'm gonna like shut it down every. I don't know how often I'll do it. Maybe when I feel overwhelmed and it's time to do it.
It seems like a good time to me.
Because Bonnaroo kind of it forced us to do it. Obviously, we didn't have any. The reception wasn't that great, but also like you're around people, you're talking, you're having a good time, so you kind of just put the phone down. And you're trying to conserve battery. You know, you're living off generators and shit.
Sure.
So you you check your phone for a really good reason. And yeah, so it it really does. I mean, it's fucked up to think about. But it really does do something to you, man. Social media, just being on it, really does. It really does fuck you up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it causes. Not. I think. I mean, there's been studies. It's not like I'm breaking any new ground here, but it definitely heightens my anxiety, and it makes you focus on the wrong things, and it makes you worry about shit that you like otherwise wouldn't really worry about. Like stuff that's outside of your control, you can concern yourself with because there's this portal into all of this other stuff, right? And so FOMO is obviously a bad thing, where you're looking at somebody having fun and you're like, oh, I wish I could be there.
Yeah,
or
tell me about it.
But not just that, but like looking at other people living their lives and feeling like maybe you're not doing as much as you could be. You know, all kinds of shit.
Or you see
right?
something that upsets you, or you read really bad news,
right?
Or, you know,
just anything.
Yeah.
You see your ex doing well, and you're like, no, I don't want to. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. And it's that kind of stuff that it fucks with you. And when you're off of that, your brain just kind of just hits the reset, and it's like, why was I even upset about that? Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Oh, I can survive without all that crap.
Be fine.
In my head.
Actually, it wouldn't be fine. It'd be better.
Improved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
well, that's good. That's good. I think that's a good lesson for everyone involved. We all get too wrapped up in the social media game.
Yeah. All right. So, as Obi alluded to at the beginning of the show, we got ourselves a very tiny mini case of a trailer trash. Trailer trash. This week we're just doing Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah. Kind of dropped out of nowhere. The trailer without much fanfare.
Can't really say it's hotly anticipated.
No. I think I mean, there's clearly an audience that's excited for the Spider-Man like spin-off villain movies, if Venom is any indication, because people really like that movie. Those movies, I should say.
They're a whole thing unto themselves.
They are. They're what's a good fan base name for them? I'd be surprised if they don't have one already.
Yeah.
Symbiotes?
Symbiotes?
Yeah, they're symbiotes.
That's funny.
But yeah, I don't know what it is, but some people really dig these movies.
They all have so far they have like a similar look and a similar vibe.
Yeah. They feel very like early 2000s superhero movies.
Yes, they do. Even the stunts.
The
kind
action, the writing, the setups for these characters, the origin story.
Yeah.
You know, like it's all very
familiar.
early 2000s. Yeah. Like you know, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man-ish. Yeah. But not as good.
Yeah.
But regardless, we are still getting these what seems to be sort of their attempt at building a Sinister Six franchise with Kraven the Hunter.
We should get together, call ourselves, I don't know, Sinister Six or something like that. Just came up with it off the top of my head.
The Bad Six. But Kraven the Hunter, new trailer, and it looks like another one of those movies.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, directed by a guy named J.C. Shandor. He's known for A Most Violent Year.
Oh.
He directed Triple Frontier from Netflix.
Okay.
All Is Lost. The Robert Redford movie.
That's right. Yeah.
And Margin Call, even before that. So, you know, he's done some
very
stuff.
Active.
No, not really.
Weird filmography.
Very weird. Very weird.
Like, how does he even get called in to do some of this stuff? It feels like kind of all over the place.
Well, that's what makes me worried. that Kraven the Hunter, he was chosen for just to be a hired hand because he, he's shot action before with Triple Frontier. Mm-hmm. So they may have been like, yeah, we liked how that looked. Let's go ahead and throw him in this. Why not? He won't have his own, vision.
Yeah.
But that being said, giving the trailer a fair shake, I think it looked better than I expected it to. The action looked brutal and cool. I like, what's his name? Aaron Taylor Johnson?
Yeah,
Is that his name? That's it. Yeah. I like him. I think he's a good actor. Russell Crowe is always fun to see. Even though I think Russell Crowe seems like a better Kraven than
yeah.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
He definitely would have been a better Kraven.
Yeah. But
should have done this movie 20 years ago.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. Post Gladiator, Russell Crowe.
Oh man,
you kidding me?
Come on,
would have been awesome. But yeah, I mean, all that being said, I think it looks pretty cool. Do I have high hopes for it? No. But I'm pleasantly surprised by the trailer, at least.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see that they're doing something more violent and dark than they even did with like Venom, which could have been like
should have been,
yeah, like a hard R. Type deal.
Even more, they all should be hard R's. Morbius should be a hard R movie.
Yeah,
I don't know why it's not.
I don't know. I mean, they're trying to clearly
have sex.
Forgot all about that. They're still trying to bank on the PG-13 crowd. They need the teens to get in there.
I can't believe that's a real thing in a real movie.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they did that.
It was such a long scene.
It goes on, feels like an eternity.
Forever.
Can you imagine trying to tell Matt Smith, like, what he's about to do? I mean, I know he probably read it in the script that, like, all right, there's going to be a scene where you're transforming and you're feeling all juiced up and stuff. And then he gets to set that day and he's like, all right, so you're going to like dance and you're going to be like,
we'll play the music for you.
He played the music and he's like, you can't be serious. Right?
It might.
Or maybe he was digging it. Maybe he was all into it.
Maybe he suggested it.
Yeah, maybe it was,
he's like, I'm really bored with this movie.
He's like, listen,
spice it up.
This is what I do at home. This is the music that I dance to at home. So
yeah.
Okay, so this is a bit where we talk about the trailer itself. Did the trailer excite you enough? Did it look good enough? Mm-hmm. Is it trash or is it not trash?
Surprisingly enough, not trash.
Yeah, I it's hard for me to say that it makes me want to see the movie because I don't really know that much about Kraven the character. I know from what I've seen in the animated series and from what I've seen in like the small amount of comics that I've seen him in. I don't know much about him.
Yeah.
What I do know, or what I guess I envision about him, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. Same person.
Doesn't really seem to. Listen. He's great.
Yeah.
Love him in everything that he's done so far.
Mm-hmm.
He's fantastic. I think he's just too... I mean, he's when he was being rumored to be James Bond, for instance, I was like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
He's too suave. He's got a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
He's debonair. He's devilishly handsome.
Sure.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to picture him as a savage.
Yeah.
He's
even ripped to shreds as he is currently.
Yeah. Like, he's still like, well, yeah, of course he is.
He's too pretty.
Way too pretty.
Too pretty.
Way too pretty. Yeah. And just way too, like, charming. Mm-hmm. And that's, like, this is no judgment on the trailer itself, but a judgment on these movies so far. They're robbing Spider-Man of they're all heroes. I don't know who is he going to fight? Right. They're going to do, like, a Doc Ock origin story where you just, like, sympathize with him. Sure. And then, but, like, if they're trying to make you sympathize with these villains so that they're more interesting when they finally do become villains, sure, I'm on board with that.
Then, like, how complicated would it have to be for them all to do like a 9/11 suddenly?
Yeah, right.
And suddenly it's like, oh, these are all bad guys now.
Right.
You know, like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, and especially because at the end of both Venom movies, he's just a straight up hero.
Sure.
He's not an anti-hero.
Right.
Or, like, however you want to. He's just a straight up hero.
Right.
Same thing with Morbius. Just because what he is a monster doesn't mean that his actions are monstrous. Like,
Sure.
he's a straight up hero in the movie.
Yeah.
He stops the bad guy. He doesn't even want to kill people. He's like trying to figure out a way to like drink blood without drinking blood. Like, he's a straight up hero in the movie. And then even by the end of it, that's why that post credit scene doesn't work with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, Keaton's an actual bad guy.
Sure.
Keaton was robbing banks and like fucking people. He was doing bad things. He was a bad guy.
But he had his reasons. That was enough sympathy for us to get him as a more complex character than just, oh, I'm a bad guy and I want to steal stuff.
It only takes a simple thing for you to go, oh, I could see myself doing what he's doing.
Yeah,
if
he
I
got
was
screwed
in
over
his shoes.
by Stark Tech and everything that happened after the invasion of the what's their names, the
what's their names,
yeah, the alien guys, and he was left with nothing, and so he and his crew went and started robbing banks and stuff and. Getting the scepters and all that crap.
Yeah, they got to provide for their families.
Right, they have families. It's.
But like Morbius, what's his motivation? He came up with that thing, right? Then he injected himself with it. Mm-hmm. It was like, you did this. You couldn't live with the fact that you were disabled. Well, which I mean, I get that. I get that aspect. He is a relatable character.
Sure,
but like.
He's always been a tragic villain because of that.
But where's the villainy?
Where's the villainy? Right. He needs to,
He's got to go insane. He's got to start sucking blood, man.
He's got to kill some people.
He's got to kill some people.
He's got to kill some innocent people.
There's got to be a reason for Mahershala Ali to, like, he has no reason. We need him to exist. Yeah. There has to be a reason.
Yeah. So, that's been a big complaint about this trailer is it really, again, hints at Kraven not being a bad guy at all.
And Kraven was just like a straight up...
Yeah, a villain.
He was just a bad guy.
Yeah. He was hunting people for sport.
Yeah.
That was
straight up most dangerous game shit. Like,
right.
There's nothing about him where you're like, oh, I get it. Oh, he had an abusive dad. Boo. Boo. Join the fucking club. No. I love my dad.
Happy Father's Day.
So, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Not trash. But I'm still not really that excited to see the movie. So.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Last but not least, let's get into some video game shit, right?
Okay.
Let's do some video game stuff.
Let's do it.
You had the pleasure, as I'm sure a lot of people who are big fans had, to get your hands on the Final Fantasy 16 demo.
Yeah.
And I've been hearing some good things, but I'd love to hear your hands-on experience.
Oh, thank you. I'd love to tell you. So while you were out Bonnarooing, I was here Final Fantasying.
Nice.
And, well, first of all, I should say I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, but I'm a bit of a lapsed fan.
You're a big what fan?
Final Fantasy fan.
No, what'd you say after that?
I'm a bit of a lapsed fan.
Oh, lapsed fan.
Yeah. Because I haven't played a mainline Final Fantasy other than 7 Remake most recently since...
I thought you were playing 14. No?
No.
Oh.
The last mainline Final Fantasy I think I actually played and beat was 10.
Oh, wow.
Way back in the day. Yeah. So it's been a long time.
You're about as big a fan as I am.
Well, it's just that after that, I kind of lapsed from JRPGs for a little bit because I was like, I don't feel like, taking up all that time in my life. It's a big investment, the multiple dozens of hours that you got to put into those things. And,
Oh, I know. Oh, I know.
So I lapsed after that. I was, watching from afar. And then they went into that weird MMO stuff. And I was like,
yeah,
definitely not that.
That got a little weird.
Don't want that. I had wanted to get into 15, but it started off like what I heard was kind of middling. And then it got good, apparently, with a bunch of DLC and stuff, but it just seemed like too much. Again, too much.
It's a lot of stuff to invest.
Yeah.
It's like this game is just not good. It's not good.
Right. And I was going to get into 15 when it was free on PS Plus, and then they announced 16. And I was like, I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to invest in this world until I can get into the newest one.
Yeah.
And honestly, at first, 16, the previews and stuff, it being this like dark fantasy, like very Game of Thrones-ish thing, I was kind of like, I don't know. Because I love 7. I'm a little basic. I like 7 a lot.
Basic bitch.
Yeah. But I like the sort of mix of like sci-fi, cyberpunkish kind of that 7 has. I like that style.
Yeah.
More than like the old, like medieval kind of dragons and all that stuff.
Same.
I like it in bits and pieces, but my Final Fantasy, I prefer like
7 and 8.
Yeah.
Like,
Give me a gunblade.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dress them up in a lot of leather.
Yeah. I mean, 8, all the characters look so cool.
Yeah.
But that being said, I was kind of, again, watching from afar, like, should I not? I just got done with Persona. They just announced they're doing a remake of Persona 3, which is like my favorite. And then they announced this demo out of the blue. A 2-hour demo
Oh, damn.
that carries over your progress.
Oh, damn.
So I'm like, okay, don't mind if I do. And I did. And let me tell you, it may be like second to maybe the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo, the most effective demo I've ever played.
Wow.
Because after playing that, I'm like, I don't have the money for this, but pre-order. And I don't do that usually until reviews are out nowadays, because why would you?
Right.
But after playing that, I felt confident enough in it that I was like, yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. It is very Game of Thrones-ish. It's very mature for a Final Fantasy. It's weird seeing like blood like that in a Final Fantasy game, but kind of cool. It's jarring and lots of bad words, and there's sex and violence. But
Tell me about the sex.
It's scandalous. But no, I mean it's just really unique. It's really unique to the Final Fantasy franchise that they went that route, and I find it really interesting that they're evolving this game to be a much more what seems to be mature story than what they normally do.
Nice.
It's not about like a bunch of teenagers, and it's not like the stories obviously have high stakes and stuff, but this is much more like complex, and like there's different kingdoms and classes and all this stuff that they're setting up that is just 100% my jam.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it looks absolutely beautiful. Like, graphics are incredible. I'm trying to think of all the changes they've... Oh, another thing that seems pretty revolutionary is they have an option where you can hit you can press like on the PS5 the little pad in the middle, touchpad, and it brings up lore notes like you're on Amazon Prime, like you're watching something on Prime.
Yeah.
And it shows like people's names or places, the names of places, and you can read up on the lore of those things, so you keep track of it all the time. So if you're ever like, who is King of Isdell or whatever, who's Jason Isbell, you can hit your touchpad and see exactly who they are, where they're from, their backstory, their relationships with whoever they're talking to.
That's because they put so much shit.
Yeah, lots of lore.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that I really want to see moving forward in other games that are like that lore rich, It just makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, best of all, the reason why I told you specifically to play the demo is because it is much more action-based than any Final Fantasy I've ever played.
Yeah.
So I heard 15 was more action-based too, more along the lines of 7 Remake. This one is even more so.
Yeah.
So
nice.
It is inching closer and closer to like Devil May Cry.
Just do it. Just do it.
Very well could.
Do it.
But I think
just take the leap. It's fine. We're at a point now where that's the basis of a lot of these video games. Nobody wants to do. I shouldn't say nobody. Most of us, normies,
right,
don't want to play turn-based style. It's
you don't know what you're missing.
It's sickening. Okay, it's over with. It's a thing of the past.
Okay,
that's Grandpa's game.
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
Why would you want turn-based?
Gives you more time to strategize. You know, it's like playing chess.
Play a strategy game.
I don't like strategy.
Real chess players don't have time to strategize. It's on the clock. You got to go. I need to be able to button mash if I need to. And I need to be able to run around just in case if I've got one little thing left on my HP.
Dodge.
Because I've won boss fights doing that, okay? That's real deal shit.
Yeah,
you lose HP in a turn-based style game, and it's like, that's it. You just lost. The number of HP you have left, they hit you with that, and now it's over with.
Yeah.
It's fucking...
Well, there's strategy involved. You know, you can have somebody heal you. You can get a potion.
No.
Get a Phoenix down. Get revived. But I think you'll like this game. This Final Fantasy is probably the best Final Fantasy for you to jump back into it because you can do that. You can run around your enemy. You can dodge. You can parry. And, you know, you can smash your attack button when it's time to smash your attack button.
Sick.
It's very much more like Kingdom Hearts. So I think you'll dig it.
Love it. Okay.
Yeah. So
I gotta just put my fucking nose down and beat Final Fantasy VII because Rebirth is coming soon.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Actually, speak of the devil,
May Cry.
I wish we could speak about Devil May Cry. It's a great game. But I was inspired to get the what's it called? The sequel or the prequel that came out on PSP about
Advent
Zack.
Children?
No, that's the movie. Hold on.
All right.
I'm looking it up.
All right. What you got it on
Game about
PSP?
Zack. PSP. Crisis Core.
Oh yeah.
Crisis Core Reunion came out last year, the year before.
Oh, okay.
That was a not a full remake, but like a re-release of Crisis Core with like the pretty close to FF7 remake graphics.
Gotcha.
I never played Crisis Core before.
Yeah.
So I've been playing through that now.
Okay.
It's a little bit shorter. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Another good game.
I don't know where you find the time.
I don't have it. Between those and Zelda
Yeah.
and reading like an old fart.
An old man.
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough. This year has been an embarrassment of video game riches.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's just been so good.
Yeah.
So good. Movies, too. Movies have been great recently. I'm getting, like, anxious about how I'm going to watch all the movies I want to see in theaters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oppenheimer, Barbie double feature, babe.
I know. I'm honestly planning on it. Going to IMAX. Get my face blasted off and then enter a world of pink.
No, you got to do Barbie first.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Actually, Sherry disagrees. Sherry
You think Oppenheimer first, then Barbie?
You have to feel good when you leave.
I don't think. See,
Maybe,
Sherry
I
said
don't know.
you got to feel good when you leave, but I think that going, depending on how dark Oppenheimer is, which I think it's going to be pretty dark. Depending on how you feel when you leave the theater after seeing Oppenheimer, you may not be in the mood to watch Barbie right after.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to get done with the movie and be like, you know what? I kind of don't want to do. I don't want to be out anymore. I don't want to.
Yeah. I think you got to end with Oppenheimer and then like have plans afterwards to just decompress. You know?
I saw somebody say like, the way to do it is see a matinee of Barbie, then get something to eat, talk about it, have a good time, then go see Oppenheimer in the evening.
Yeah.
It gives time to digest.
Yeah.
Make a whole thing of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whole day out.
I think that might be the move.
Yeah.
I have been able to finally get my hands on Jedi Survivor.
Oh.
Courtesy of a friend of the show, Steve.
Shout out, Steve.
Thank you. And so I've been able to sink some time into that. Like right before I left for Bonnaroo,
Yeah.
I probably dropped 15 hours into it easily. And if you liked the first game, Fallen Order, you're gonna love Survivor. So far, it's one of my biggest complaints about Fallen Order was just like its actual performance.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of frame rate drops, a lot of like real funky shit. You'd fall off of something and then boom, there's a fucking monster in front of you, and then you're just dead, and you're like, what the fuck?
It's a poppin'.
So performance is almost perfect. Lore wise, it's continuing, from the first game. So there's, I like they do some cool, interesting stuff with like your different forms and the different way to use your lightsaber and stuff. They've made that more interesting and a little bit more strategic. Because it's like you can go into a battle with these kinds of forms, but you can't have all of them because you can do a lot now. You can, because in the first game, you couldn't dual wield.
No.
That was a move that you did.
Yeah.
Now you can that can just be your setup. You can just have the dual wield, but it's not as it's having the double blade versus like the regular lightsaber. Like all of them have their advantages and disadvantages, and you can't have all of them at your disposal. So it's smart to kind of make you strategize how you're going to go into each encounter and stuff. So Cal still sucks as a protagonist. He's boring.
But you can give him a mullet.
Guess what? The minute I found the mullet, I was like, yeah,
nice. We're
We're rocking the mullet and the beard for the rest of this game. That's it. I got my man looking like a straight up just down home country bumpkin Jedi.
That's good.
Use
We
the
need
force.
representation.
Use the force, Luke. So yeah, I highly recommend it.
Okay.
It's a great game so
Good.
far.
Good. I'll find time eventually.
Yeah.
At some point. And money.
Do you have it?
No.
Okay, I'll finish it and then I'll let you go.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Finish that though.
I
Save
know.
that. For
I
the
know.
cheers of
I've
the week.
been like,
Well, we're here at the end. Do we
Yeah.
have anything else that we want to get into?
I don't think so. I think we did it. I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
So then, without further ado, let's just get right into the cheers of the week. Obi?
My cheers of the week goes to the book, Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh.
So I mentioned I was reading, which I am. Humble brag, I know.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think you're better than the rest of us?
I do.
I do.
Killers of the Flower Moon is written by David Gran. He's also known for being the writer of Lost City of Z, which they also turned into a movie. And what else? I forget off the top of my head. But he does a lot of historical nonfiction, but it reads like fiction. It's all very much set up like a detective story or a thriller. And I am loving this book. The reason I'm reading it is because there is going to be a new Martin Scorsese movie coming out very soon by the same name, and it has me really excited because the story itself I can see very easily lending itself to the silver screen. And there's lots of good twists. It's a good historical story that I never heard of before and should be told.
Yeah.
Yes. Very dark, but very interesting. And I recommend if you are a reader of sort of true crime, historical fiction or nonfiction, I think you'll dig it.
Nice.
His newest book is The Wager, which I also bought because I like his writing. So I'll get to that probably next.
All right. My cheers of the week is going to all the little people who make Bonnaroo work. Let me tell you something. There was a couple of days where the bathroom scene was a disaster.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I mean, it was straight up like a war zone. And it's such a thing to pull this off. 80,000 people. It's sold out this year.
Yeah.
80,000 people, give or take. Imagine trying to organize all of that. We were trying to figure out how you even put the set list together. Because, like, you go out and you pursue these artists. You pay them X amount of dollars to perform. All right. Now you've got a contract with these people. You're going to be the headliner. You're going to be the not the co-headliner, but like the middle.
Yeah.
And you're going to be the openers. You're going to be the guys, performing at this tent and that tent and so on and so forth. That could be me not having the words, but that also could be the actual tents, this and that. But how do you even organize that? How do you have, who do you know who to put? And then sometimes it doesn't work and sometimes it doesn't. Because there was times, okay, I got to go back and say this. There was one thing that I forgot to mention. I'll just mention it really quickly. And it was part of the reason why I was like so angry about the dubstep was because there was Grizz. Grizz was a huge name. Everybody was talking about Grizz. Grizz this, Grizz that. He played twice. He had his own set and then he played, he replaced Rainbow Kitten Surprise because I guess something happened with their band and he stepped in, which was really cool of him. He was playing during the Fleet Foxes. They didn't have their time against or away from each other like a 15 minutes between each set. They were playing at the same time. So while Robin's up there trying to do his thing, you just got and fucking fireworks and shit are going off, and we're trying to listen to this intimate set. Now, mind you, anytime we got as close as we could, and anytime that you could actually hear them, they sounded amazing. I mean,
of course
we were all like, "How do these harmonies sound so good?" I mean, it's the Fleet Foxes,
Sure.
but they sounded incredible. So that was the other thing. So there was some conflicts. There's always going to be conflicts. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult thing to pull off. And every year that they do pull it off is a small miracle.
Yeah. Takes an
So,
army, I'm sure.
Cheers to all the little people that keep that boat afloat, especially the bathroom. There was a guy, after they fixed the bathrooms, there was just this old dude who, like, anytime somebody stepped out, he would step in, wipe the bathroom down, and then step back out. And I was like, man, I don't know how or why you drew that straw, but you're a godsend. Now I'm going to go take a shit.
Oh, no.
All right.
God bless him.
Indeed. All right, we did the cheers of the week, but we got one more thing that we got to do. We got to review this brewski. So, from Redlight, it's the Sofia. In their line of Golden Girls beers. You guys did Blanche last week. Mm-hmm. We're doing Sofia this week, and there's also the Roses Kolsch, which I don't know if we've ever actually done on the show. I mean, I've had gallons of it at this point, but I don't know if we've ever actually done it on the show. So
I don't think so.
if we haven't, we can because it's great, and I'll grab some cans of that.
Is it canned?
It's canned. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So we'll do all of them, and then there's one more Golden Girl, right? There's 4 of them. There's one more left.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know her fucking name. I didn't watch the Golden Girls. I don't know anything about them. Hey, aren't you a Golden Girls fan?
What, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Who's the one that we're missing? We got Sophia, Blanche, Rose.
And Dorothy.
Dorothy. Yes. How could we forget
how could we
Dorothy?
forget? Anyway,
Yeah.
Adam, what'd you think of this brew?
You know, I actually think it worked a little better than the Blanche for me.
Yeah.
I think it's a little better. I think it goes down even just to the funkiness of it. I like it. I like that funkiness. It adds a little something to it that I think the Blanche was missing for me. That being said, I don't know if I'd go out of my way for it as one of my favorites, but I think it's very good at what it does. Again, I'm just not much of a sour guy.
Yeah.
But that being said, this is definitely closer to my style. I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also gonna give it a 4.5. I, listened to last week, and I probably would have given the Blanche like maybe a 4.
Mm-hmm.
I would give this a 4.5. I think this is a step above.
Yeah.
Even when we have it at the bar, I'm like, this is actually like, because I'm not a big sour guy either, but I return to the Sofia.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's what they were going for each one of them. I think this one is the more accomplished version of the two.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from the Blanche, but it's just like a little drier. This is like a little more tart.
Yeah.
I think it goes down a little bit better.
A little more complex.
Yeah.
It's got more stuff going on.
That reminds me. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. I forgot that I had just a couple of notes. I found your conversation about softcore porn versus hardcore porn very interesting.
Yeah. Sure.
Now, my first question is, I don't have a lot of questions. The question is, what would it take for either one of you to date a sex worker? Would you have to? Would they have to have? Obviously, I shouldn't say obviously, but you wouldn't date a sex worker if they became a sex worker while you were in the relationship,
Yeah.
right?
No.
But if they were one before you met them, and then you got to know them, you're digging them, and then they reveal that their job is sex work.
I would say no.
No? Just no, there's no... What if they just take nude pictures?
No.
That's a hard no?
I'm too...
Of a prude?
Oh, it's not that I'm a prude.
Controlling?
I'm too insecure to be okay with that.
Oh.
Well, that's very big of you to admit that.
Yeah, thank you for me to say that.
Just in case you guys couldn't hear, Sherry's very insecure.
Crushingly
insecure.
Adam?
For me, it would. I think my limit would be naked photos, but even that would be like.
So penetration is a no-no.
That's a no-no. Yeah.
Yeah, the softcore versus hardcore
Yeah,
thing.
right.
Yeah. No, that was very I mean, no. You were like softcore porn is a no-no too.
Right.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, that's my... I'm not...
They don't actually have sex in softcore porn.
I
Though.
know, but...
It's like basically filming a graphic sex scene in a movie.
Right. It's a gratuitous sex scene.
Right, but I'm saying, me personally, I'm not comfortable. That's not to say I judge anyone who enters a relationship with that information out in the open.
Sounds like you're judging. What if Adam and I became actors and they asked us to do a sex not together? Well, I mean,
A job's a job.
But what if in the movie we had to have sex? You know what I'm saying?
Got great chemistry.
Right. You guys got great chemistry. Now take those glasses off and get in the pool.
Where's the camera? There's no camera. This is just for me.
Yeah, but what if Adam had an intimate scene with someone?
I wouldn't date him.
You would break up with
You
him?
couldn't date an actor?
I couldn't date... No, you just said, obviously, you wouldn't date someone that wasn't a sex worker, but then they became a sex worker once...
Sure, but that's not sex work. He's an actor.
Right.
Oh, like, if you're an actor in the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay, well... Alright.
You got to draw the line somewhere because you're not into soft. You wouldn't let him do softcore porn. But what is the difference between softcore porn?
Acting has more of a wheelhouse of skills you have to go through. Like acting-
Sounds like you're devaluing softcore porn actors.
Yeah, that's
I think I am, and I'm not afraid to say it. I'm just not... Again, it's also me personally being insecure, but also it's just... If it's purely softcore porn to be softcore porn, that's all it is. It's not like Adam's trying to expand his acting skills by learning how to present himself as a different person in a different mood, and then it's like...
well. What if he had to start in softcore porn to become an actor in a prestige
Is
movie?
that a normal...
Well, in my thought experiment,
I think it's happened.
it's definitely happened.
Sure, it's happened, but I'm just not...
Well, I mean, Sasha Grey was in hardcore porn, and now she's an actor.
No, she's doing fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
good.
good for her.
Yeah.
Like, and then Mia Khalifa, she's doing fine. too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
But
I wouldn't say they're doing fine. People are still pretty shitty to them. But
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not gonna be shitty to like a sex worker. It just
Kind of sounds like you would be.
I'm not comfortable dating. I'm not comfortable dating. It's just none of it's okay with me. But I don't know if I'm the outlier here. Like, would you be okay with it?
I wouldn't date somebody who was having sex on camera with another guy.
What about softcore?
Softcore, that I don't know, that it depends. If she was just a softcore porn actress, I don't know, I probably wouldn't care. I mean, like if it was just like hardcore porn, it's not the culture of porn. I don't care about that. I'm too jealous. I'm too jealous of a person.
Yeah.
Right, that's me too, though.
Yeah.
That's what I mean when I say I'm
Yeah,
too
but-
insecure. Like, I can't.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. No, I'm not. I mean, I laugh at it, but I understand where you're coming from.
Thank you.
The nude photos thing, I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
I'd be absolutely fine with that.
The only
Especially
thing-
like the fucking incels who would pay her
Sure.
to take these pictures and stuff. I'd be like, oh,
Well,
let's
that's
go.
actually that's the only thing that would make me a little upset about it is that there's a danger involved with these parasocial relationships that get created.
Yeah.
By the people who pay her money.
Yeah.
For pictures, and a lot of times that leads to scary stalkers and things of that nature.
And they can't know you exist because their parasocial
Right.
relationship hinges on their chance at.
Sure.
And I wouldn't want, like, people that I know in my personal circle to secretly either look at it or have access to it.
Yeah, like when those streamers were getting caught watching faked,
yeah.
faked porn of their friends.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? Ugh.
That's so...
So weird.
Like, the relationship's done.
No,
over.
it's yeah,
Over.
it's- yeah,
With them
yeah.
anymore. I don't want to
Because it's one thing to like make that actual content and then your friends watch it and it's like, I don't know, man, sorry, I mean, you make porn. What do you want me to do?
Right.
I wouldn't do it. I'm not. But what I'm saying is, it's different than the deep faked.
Yeah.
Like it's not even real, and you're like, I'm lusting over my friends so much that I will watch
Yeah.
fake content.
That's gross.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
You're seeking it out.
But that's not what we're talking about here.
No,
We're
I'm
talking
saying,
about.
I just don't want people that I know to like stumble across it. If I were to be a sex worker.
I mean, they would
Yeah.
probably.
Well,
be
then you
doing
wouldn't be
it-
a sex worker if you'd be ashamed of the sex work.
Well-
then-
It's just I don't want them to see me. I'm okay with strangers.
Well, 9 times out of 10 they're using a fake name, and sometimes they don't have their face on it,
Yeah.
or
Oh,
it's
true.
it's a complete alias.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of anonymity that can be made.
I don't want like my teacher from middle school to like find like a picture of my tits and go, "Whoa, look at Sherry, she's really
Well.
strong," or something like.
Weird, you would go directly to your middle school teacher.
That's what I'm
She's
saying.
really grown.
Good for her.
Really grown.
She's doing great.
Here's $5, honey.
Looks fantastic.
I don't want that.
No, sure, yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Call me a prude, I guess, for being.
You're a prude. Anyway, just kidding. The other thing was I was just listening to the moving in together conversation, which I thought was interesting. The tips and tricks. I have a tip for you.
What the fuck? Not Adam?
No, for you to live with him.
Oh, okay.
Load the dishwasher correctly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is this like a secret conversation?
No.
About the dishwasher?
No. This is one of the only things when he and I lived together that bothered him.
Oh, I thought it was like Adam would just text you every time I load the dishwasher.
No.
It's
no.
funny that you have a guilty conscience about this because you do load it wrong all the time.
I don't load it wrong, okay?
No.
I do
Listen,
my
Sherry,
best.
there's no loading it wrong. You don't load it the way he wants it to be loaded. That's
Particular.
yeah.
He's particular.
I didn't just fucking throw a bag of dishes into the thing and just turned it on.
Could have fooled me.
He just
I'm sure he did it great, and he probably was like, "Oh no,
I did it fine.
The forks have to be up and not down."
Listen, the dishes got cleaned, okay? Once we pulled them out, you was using them. Were you rewashing them after?
Sometimes.
Don't lie.
Whenever I had to.
Do you have any other tips for living with Adam?
Stay out of his way.
Goddamn right.
It's true.
No, I think you guys are doing pretty well for yourselves. I don't need to give you any more advice than that.
Yeah, that's a good idea, though. I'll just load it to his specifications.
Yeah, just have him, just draw you up a blueprint of how it needs to be loaded up.
I've asked him that before.
Yeah, I've shown you.
And you still do it wrong. See, you know what he did to me, though?
What?
We didn't have this conversation until after he moved out. We had it on the podcast
That's
because
right.
we talked about,
forgot that.
okay, what did you do that
Annoyed me.
and so on and so forth. We were just doing like a recap of living together, and that's when he told me,
Did it hurt your feelings, that conversation?
"Did it hurt my?" No, I don't give a fuck. No, I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
No, it was so funny to me. But he didn't tell me for what we lived together for a year and a half,
Yeah.
and never once was he like, "Hey, man, do you mind doing this way?"
Uh-huh.
I think if he lived with Adam now, he would say it.
Oh, yeah. No, or I would just continue to do it myself.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think Adam's really done a good job on saying things instead of just internalizing.
I've spent the last couple of years in therapy. It's been helping me use my words. Yeah.
I've said use your words a lot.
Use your words.
Use your words.
Use your words.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all I got.
Okay.
Did you like it?
Yeah. No, I'm kidding. No, but we got nothing else, right?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, then a unanimous 4.5 for the Sofia. Think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, then let's get the fuck out of here. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.